It's precisely 6:15. This is the news on Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News is edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, read by Sabrina Zawahir. The headlines. A group of IMF representatives expected to arrive in the country by the end of this month. Human Rights Commission will launch investigations into the violence after 9th of May. Pakistan assures continuous support to Sri Lanka. 9 petitions filed in the Supreme Court against the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution. Purchasing of paddy expedited in the areas where harvesting is taking place. And in world news, deadly blast rips through a crowded Kabul mosque. And in sports news, Sir John Turbett Senior Athletic Championship is scheduled to be held next month. Now the local news in detail. A group of representatives from the International Monetary Fund is scheduled to arrive in the country at the end of this month. Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, said that they hope to reach a staff-level agreement with them. During a media briefing at the Central Bank today, he expressed hope that the IMF would accept the program presented by the government. The governor pointed out this will be possible to reach agreements with institutions to obtain loans after the approval of the program. Sri Lanka Human Rights Commission has decided to conduct a special investigation into setting of fires to the houses and violence on the 9th May and thereafter. Chairperson of the Commission, retired Supreme Court Justice Rohini Marasinghe, said that the investigations will commence tomorrow. It is expected to summon 5 parliamentarians for a day to the Commission to record their statements on the damages to houses and properties. She said that a special committee has been appointed to conduct investigations. She further said nearly 100 complaints have been received in connection with damages to houses and properties into violence. Pakistan has assured its continuous support to Sri Lanka. Pakistan High Commissioner Major General Umar Farooq Barki mentioned this during a meeting with Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. The meeting took place at the Prime Minister's office yesterday. The Prime Minister expressed gratitude to Pakistan for standing by for Sri Lanka's sovereignty at international forums. The Prime Minister requested the High Commissioner to provide necessary facilities for Sri Lankan Buddhist pilgrims to visit historic Buddhist places of worship such as Takshila. Meanwhile, a meeting between the Prime Minister and Cuban Ambassador Andres Marcelo González Garrido took place at the Prime Minister's office yesterday. The Prime Minister said he is committed to further enhance friendly relations between the two countries. 9 petitions have been filed in the Supreme Court against the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution. They have requested to declare certain clauses in the draft bill are inconsistent with the Constitution. The Attorney General has been named in the petition filed by 9 citizens. This news is brought to you by Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing more local news. The government has planned to expedite purchasing of paddy from the areas where the harvesting is taking place. Minister Mahinda Amaravira said purchasing of paddy island-wide has already commenced. He pointed out that although certain persons act according to political and personal objectives, what they should do is to join to build a country. Meanwhile, the Paddy Marketing Board opened 55 storage complexes to purchase paddy today. Harvesting of paddy in the Yalla season has ended in some districts, while harvesting is taking place in several more districts. The Paddy Marketing Board has decided to purchase paddy at a fair price. Accordingly, a kilogram of Nadu paddy will be purchased for 120 rupees, a kilogram of Samba paddy for 120 rupees, and a kilogram of Kiri Samba for 130 rupees. A special ceremony was organized by the Pakistan High Commission at the BMICH in Colombo recently to award scholarships to bright and deserving GCE A-level students of Sri Lanka. The ceremony was held in continuation of 75th Independence Day of Pakistan, celebrated on 14th of this month. Scholarships have been awarded by the government of Pakistan to aspiring Sri Lankan students of advanced level and ordinary level examinations since 2006. So far, around 2,300 Sri Lankan students have benefited from this program, which is named after Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the revered founding father of Pakistan. Lecturer of the Moratuwa University Engineering Faculty, Dr. Thusitha Sugatapala, says that people should be cautious when using wood to cook food. He said some use discarded chairs, tables and other wood which can have paints and chemicals on them. He said that when burning such pieces of wood, health of the persons can be affected. Therefore, he requested the public to refrain from using such wood for cooking purposes. Dr. Sugatapala mentioned this during a workshop organized by Sri Lanka Sustainable Energy Authority for journalists. Steps have been taken to increase the compost allowance of police officers. Secretary to the Ministry of Public Security, S. Hettiarachchi, said that the Cabinet has given the approval in principle. Paying of the allowance has been postponed due to the prevailing economic crisis. It has been proposed to increase the allowance in future for 21 days from the present 14 days. With that, we conclude the local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Health Services Deputy Director General Dr. Hemantha Herath says Sri Lanka is witnessing a sharp increase in the number of patients with COVID-19, which is now 10 times higher than what it was in May and June. He said as of yesterday, 668,336 people have tested positive for the coronavirus in the country, with 195 new cases reported on Tuesday. That was main news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
The Wildlife Conservation Department has informed the Health Ministry's anti-rabies campaign to speed up the administration of rabies vaccine to dogs in Homagama and nearby villages due to the disease in cattle in the area. Dr. Suhananda Jawadana of the Wildlife Conservation Department said that the rabies vaccination of dogs in Homagama and surrounding villages has commenced. That came to you in Watchlight.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Taking a look at the world news and moving on to the headlines of the world news. Deadly blast rips through a crowded Kabul mosque. The US Air Force grounds all ospreys due to safety issues. Yellow crazy ants cause chaos in Tamil Nadu villages. Now the world news in detail. Police say a huge explosion has ripped through a crowded mosque in the Afghan capital Kabul, killing 21 people. Kabul police spokesman Khalid Zadran said another 33 people were injured. Today's blast occurred during evening prayers. The mosque's imam is reported to be among the dead. It is unclear who was behind the attack. US media say the US Air Force has indefinitely grounded all its CV-22 Osprey tilt-rotor transport aircraft over safety concerns. Media say the Air Force Special Operations Command had ordered the grounding of all 52 of its CV-22s yesterday. Reports say the decision was made following incidents involving a problem in the clutch that connects one of the aircraft's two engines to the propeller rotor. Hundreds of people who live in 7 villages in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu say they were reeling from an infestation of yellow crazy ants. These insects, they say, attack their livestock and affect crop yields, putting their livelihoods in danger. Yellow crazy ants are among the world's worst invasive species, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature. They don't bite or sting but spray formic acid which can cause reactions. That ends World News. Prior to concluding the headlines of the World News once again. Deadly blast rips through a crowded Kabul mosque. The US Air Force grounds all ospreys due to safety issues. Yellow crazy ants causes chaos in Tamil Nadu villages. That ends World News. Moving on to development news. The Power and Energy Ministry is focused on speedily increasing the renewable energy production capacity to the national grid by approving proposed renewable energy projects. This was revealed in a discussion held at the ministry to review the progress of renewable energy projects. It was revealed that 21 out of the 46 renewable energy projects that were unable to be implemented due to the non-amendment of the Electricity Act for a long time. With the amendment of the Electricity Act, those projects will be brought into operation. That was development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
First, we take a look at athletics. Sri Lanka Schools Athletics Association is scheduled to conduct Sir John Tabet Senior Athletic Championship from September 13th to 17th at the Sugatadasa Stadium in Colombo. The 5-day event is important for the athletes as it's going to be considered as the selection trail for the 4th Asian Under-18 Athletic Championship, which is scheduled to be held from October 13th to 16th in Kuwait. And taking a look at rugby, the Grassroots to Global Series Sri Lanka Forum organised by Sri Lanka Rugby will be held at Mandarina Hotel, Colombo from 9 a.m. onwards on Sunday and Monday with Child Fund Rugby, which is a renowned organisation for development and promotion. The main objective of the forum is to promote female rugby and the development of leadership among women who are engaged in rugby. That was Sports News.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
President National Chamber of Exporters Ravi Jawardena says the decision by the UK government to replace the current UK GSP with the Developing Countries Trading Scheme will benefit Sri Lanka. He said that this decision may also lead towards opening up a new export basket to the UK market. He further said 99% of goods exported from Sri Lanka is eligible now for duty-free access to the UK. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Moving on to economic news. Land valuation indicator for Colombo district increased to 186.9 with a year-on-year change of 17.0% during the first half of 2022. The central bank said this annual increase and the semi-annual increase of 4.6% showed a deceleration of the increasing trend observed in the second half of 2021. All sub-indicators of land valuation indicator, namely residential, commercial and industrial, contributed to the overall increase. Industrial land valuation indicator recorded the highest annual increase of 20.6%. That was economic news. Finally, we take a look at the weather report. The Met Department says showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in central, over, eastern and north central provinces during the evening or night. A few showers may occur in western and Sabaragama provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts. That was the weather report. Prior to concluding this bulletin of news, the headlines once again. A group of IMF representatives expected to arrive in the country by the end of this month. Human Rights Commission will launch investigations into the violence after 9th of May. Pakistan assures continuous support to Sri Lanka. 9 petitions filed in the Supreme Court against the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution. Purchasing of paddy expedited in the areas where harvesting is taking place. With that, we conclude the news.